But Ken Ofori Atta's house tonight has been raided, not by police, but by soldiers. Information reaching Good Evening Ghana indicates that the raid on Ken Ofori Atta's house earlier this evening, Tuesday, what's today's date again? Tuesday, 10th February, Tuesday, 11th February, was carried out by soldiers. Okay, let me say the sentence again.
Cry at say a soldier for ako ready Ken Ofori Atta, Finance Minister Fîres. I'm reading this report and I say a message from GH1 TV. I say armed soldiers and police raid home of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori Atta. And in some way it generated a lot of conversation more politics on the media and so it generated a lot of conversation. For Adom Otchere issues were raising concern say military for na and I say army for no copy more former finance minister aswaye kissi agyebeng special prosecutor and a small koye sade no wa kan sem bi wa say e wa ha me share amount no TV kissi agyebeng special prosecutor so the ensem bi aba out ene anopay di banki story na MPP for say soldiers for akọ former finance minister aswaye no wadi banki or say stage and no some video no was here mebo amo TV. Say na your first time make sure so be subscribe to the channel no. Nia bell notification no be post bi a only first person ubenya bi ahwe e wa ase. Me di ma no make sure say share link ni ma unue bi aha se Ghana be yi nko ade aha ubenya bi ate wa ase. Enti share link ni ma unue bi no so mra e be tie sempa e kafa Ghana ho. Former Minister Ken Ofori Atta Fîres ho na soldiers for coin. Is it a stage thing? Was it planned? Ni nyina obeto ase. Let's just say yenko tie ensem na po Adom Otchere e kan e wo ni show ni so no. E fa kissi agyebeng. Ho no ye ba ensem a ena no pay kissi agyebeng special prosecutor so they aba out. E di banke sa story no. Eno so me de beto. Yenko tie po Adom Otchere no ye ba ye beto aso.
So this evening, as news just broke, and you've seen it on many of the portals, that Ken Ofori Atta, the gentleman in the center here, who has been finance minister for Ghana for 7 years, from 2017 to I believe 2022, and who was heavily criticized by the NDC, and who at some point had MPP members of parliament indicating to President Akufo-Addo to change him. Eventually, the president changed him from Mohamed Amin Anta. But Ken Ofori Atta's house tonight has been raided, not by police, but by soldiers. Information reaching Good Evening Ghana indicates that the raid on Ken Ofori Atta's house earlier this evening, Tuesday, what's today's date again? Tuesday, 10th February, Tuesday, 11th February, was carried out by soldiers. Okay, let me say the sentence again. So that the prompter that I'm reading from is clear. And the timer, please take it from here. Information reaching Good Evening Ghana suggests that the raid that has occurred at Ken Ofori Atta's house earlier this evening, Tuesday, 11th February, was not conducted by police officers. It was conducted by military officers. Now, they don't know that somebody on the top of the building next door was filming, and that video has been made available to us. So was filming how they entered, and then the video remained until they came out. What happened inside, the video couldn't capture because the person was on the building. The soldiers, those of you went there, you will see that to your left, there was a story building there. A very prominent person lives there, and she was concerned about what was happening. So she filmed it, and she sent it to us. So the video indicates soldiers, numbering about 15 of them. One of them is half camera, so we really couldn't check. But at least there are more than 10, numbering about 15 military soldiers, not police. They raided Ken Ofori Atta's house at Cantonment earlier today. Now, everybody was pointing to Dr. Kufu Dampare. It's not about Dampare. It's not Dampare. Apparently, the Honorable Kissi Agyebeng is responsible for this. And we don't know why. Kissi Agyebeng is responsible for the raid on Ken Ofori Atta's house this evening. Now, why are we saying this? Because we have now also seen letters that have been written from Kissi Agyebeng to Ken Ofori Atta, asking for Ken Ofori Atta to be questioned on issues relating to SML contracts. Viewers, remember that, the famous or infamous SML contract. So Kissi Agyebeng has written to Ofori Atta, asking him to answer questions on the SML contract. I'm not so sure who asked him to do that, but the OSP can have a mandate originating from his table. He can originate a mandate based on the broad mandate that he has. He can originate a mandate and say that I'm coming to ask you questions. He can do that. So in exercise of that authority, Kissi Agyebeng, the special prosecutor, wrote to Ken Ofori Atta. Lawyers for Ofori Atta responded to Kissi Agyebeng indicating that the witness was not in town. Ken Ofori Atta was not in town. He's in America on health grounds, and that they are able to answer questions on his behalf so long as he can produce the questions. Lawyers also promised that as soon as Ofori Atta arrives in Ghana, they will submit him to the office of the special prosecutor. As far as the lawyers were concerned, this was the conclusion of the matter. Now, they were told today that their client's house has been raided by soldiers. Quickly, calls went to the police IGP, asking Dr. Dan Pareda, what is all this about? Dr. Dan Pareda is thinking about himself, and that's what he told them, that I have not sent anybody to raid anywhere. The people who went there were soldiers. I don't have control over soldiers. I just have control over police.
It is what Paul, as a more kind. I say, sorry, it's not Kissi Agyebeng, it's Kissi Agyebeng. Agyebeng. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. Agyebeng. Sent a letter to Ken Ofori Atta. And I see Ken Ofori Atta ni Ghana or Abuchi into lawyers. And I received the letter on behalf. And he sent me another question. You person bisa Ken Ofori Atta no. Man, they say Paul say the lawyers was there and was ready to reply him, but when yet I know these soldiers like 10 echo Ken Ofori Atta fee echo ready hodom. And uti and semna Ken Paul Adom Otchere a kind. It means more evidence to what really happened. He said you no can. I was say and paying for invited Kissi Agyebeng. And I ain't trying to let a number explain. Same way na me kasa. I think I feel the poor enemy some no who be bring into beya and some no kasa you true no. Among friend no someone to no. Way and I'm so ama Kissi Agyebeng. And now no pay. What the story for us aba or saying some na more to say yako ready former finance minister fee no. A planting a stating and ya no cre. Na Ken Ofori Atta is involved in mechanism scandal bia ye be hia no say ye betoto na no oral team no e be hia say ye betoto na no into ashada a stage bibi they said enkofo abanifia be reading no but it's never true and also wa say me so say yengo take Kissi Agyebeng nsem na o kana no pay no yengo tie bi ye ba ye beto aso.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, a few minutes ago I signed a directive declaring a high-profile person a fugitive from justice. This person is wanted by the OSP to answer charges in respect of several cases, including the following. 1. Contractual arrangements between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and the Ghana Revenue Authority for the stated objective of the enhancement of revenue assurance in the downstream petroleum sector, upstream petroleum production, and minerals and metals resources value chain. 2. Termination of a distribution, loss reduction, and associated network improvement project contract between the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited and Beijing Zhaochen Technology BXC. 3. Procurement of contractors and materials and activities and payments in respect of the National Cathedral project. 4. Activities and payments in respect of a contract awarded by the Ministry of Health, initially commenced by the Ministry for Special Development Initiatives to Service Ghana Auto Group Limited for purchases and after-sales service and maintenance of 307 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 305 CDI ambulances for the National Ambulance Service. And 5. Payments out of and utilization of the tax refund account of Ghana Revenue Authority. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the fugitive's name is Kenneth Nanaya Ofori Atta. The purported raid on Mr. Ofori Atta's residence was staged, or at best, an imposter action in an attempt to court disfavor for the OSP and to derail the investigation. You know us very well. The OSP is never deterred by such occurrences, and the investigations will continue as by law prescribed. These occurrences and the OSP's intelligence, which will not be revealed at this time for fear of compromising the investigation, are very instructive as not to put premium on Mr. Ofori Atta's alleged imminent peril should he travel back to the jurisdiction. In any case, the purported medical letter transmitted through his lawyers to the OSP did not state so or demonstrate so. The OSP is unconvinced that the purported medical letter transmitted by Mr. Ofori Atta through his lawyers to the OSP represents a medical report to the effect that Mr. Ofori Atta is incapacitated or is so sickly and invalid to the extent that he is physically unable to return to the jurisdiction without imperiling his life. No serious law enforcement agency, and certainly not the OSP, will be convinced that the purported medical letter stops it from demanding the physical appearance of Mr. Ofori Atta before it in the described circumstances. We are of the firm conviction here that this is only a ruse employed by Mr. Ofori Atta in aid of his intention to avoid returning to the jurisdiction and to personally answer questions in respect of the investigations. We are convinced that the real intention of Mr. Ofori Atta is what was communicated to the OSP in the very first letter transmitted by his lawyers on 31 January 2025. That is, he has left the jurisdiction indefinitely. That was what was communicated to us at the first instance, and that is his intention. He has no intention of willingly returning to the jurisdiction. That much is clear to us. Consequently, ladies and gentlemen of the media, the OSP declares Kenneth Nanaya Ofori Atta a wanted person. He is a fugitive from justice. The OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP. And this is to Mr. Ofori Atta. You have two choices. You can either return to the jurisdiction voluntarily, or the OSP will enforce your return.
It is what is somebody be now on one case or kind or say Ken Ofori Atta is involved with a lot of scandal be a cause Ken Ofori Atta can. And to say you better to know why should I make it force stage? And I say I don't know my a plan, a stage thing. CBO Benya who dear Granny free questions and I say in Simbi and painful another oral team the baby Sebisam. And if this thing is true, may say I do it when no mama and that. Say a stage do any stage do they should go to him, they should get him. Who why crying I let no money Granny call every country name. Some man let no say ni say na see into onyanya Ken Ofori Atta nko obedwane akwa abuchi. So I'm saying say if the oral team no and also oral committee team no aye adwuma no mpese ye chichi nkofo tuma, this is the right time. Sa state na mo amaka se kissi agyebeng abeka say state no, they should get to the grounds and arrest them. Yes, mo ba be release press conference and ask mo be message to the media. Now mo dey kata so no ma forget it. Nah, they should get to the ground. Make sure say we be Ghana, my channel, he should be arrested. If say I'm pastor or involved in scandal be the oral team na I don't know if you get it. Until what's your channel? When man be state near kata so near forgetting. If the person is guilty and also why any man say vata the OSP no declare no say or you wanted and I see hiana one channel. And how can people state this thing to cause fear and answer into a minus one answer? I don't know if you get it. Obi biara where this can be hard. His Excellency John Dramani Amemo we will get you people arrested. You bet chichimunyina. Told him say where this car shall see Johnny and go for it. I shall say Johnny in an Times Square. Shall see Johnny. We are dance our bagana. You will be arrested. You bet chimunyina. And see kissi agyebeng special prosecutor that's all the information we abesome say I don't know any stage. And we are still also telling you say a state cry now you should make sure that you get them arrested. Master any mujai. You want to see each and every one where they are buying sika and that's why or involving in scandal and scam you should be arrested. You enjoy masadi we uncle free. Nah. I don't know if you get it. Charlie, and your first time I message up subscribe to the channel. No, me a bell notification is be a post be on the first person when you be a politics, training issues, entertainment. BBI for my Ghana be and I say Ubenya be Ashawasi. Into over share link no. No I catch you near me so meeting in some part. Me say can Ofori Atta fee na yes subject for okyere no. Say you state na this is where kissi agyebeng the special prosecutor and every fat matter we serious e chi obi atum no man friend dey agro Charlie me da some ogyebeng etim me di man no me di ka catch us high politics trending issues entertainment until we make sure to subscribe follow you on all social media platforms e dey near the BANTS avenue I say bibia obetibi until message so share link no ama onu ebi na obetibi me da some ogyebeng etim macraw